Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jai Hind. I hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good evening, Shiv Shankar. Good evening, Harshit. So I guess I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good evening, Pragya. Good evening. Okay, so thank you for confirming. Good evening, everyone, and welcome again. Like last week, we had this session only till Wednesday. On Wednesday, in fact, we have a video of current affairs which I have got there uploaded there. And on Thursday and Friday, we could not have the current affairs session. But from today onward, you will have this regular current affairs session. From today itself, we have also started the Adhyan batch also. Okay. So we had that orientation session in Adhyan batch today. And at the same time, we are also going to continue with this daily current affair classes at 5 p.m. Okay. So the topics which we are going to discuss today, the first one topic is with respect to caste census. So there was this one article which was explaining the significance of caste census. It is from the polity topic. It is from your polity section, GS paper 2. So we will talk about this caste census. Second topic which we are going to talk about is again from GS paper 2. It is part of social justice. Social justice. So here we will talk about this mental health issue in India. Health, education and all other things, they are part of your social justice topic in GS paper 2. Third part which we are going to read from the IR section, that is India's diplomatic push and challenges. Okay. Then from the defense exercises, from the defense section, we have this topic of nomadic elephant. This is a military exercise between India and Mongolia. So we will talk about that. And from environment section, we are going to have this one article which is with respect to climate intervention method. Okay. So these are the topics which we are going to discuss in today's session. From polity section, then we have some from IR, from defense, GS paper 2, environment. So these are the topics which we are going to discuss in today's class. But there is one, there are certain questions which we have discussed in the previous classes. Okay, so let's talk about them. The resolution to remove a judge of a Supreme Court must be passed by which of the following majority? 2/3 of total majority of House and more than 50% present and voting. A majority of total membership and at least 2/3 of members present and voting. A simple majority of present and voting and a majority of all the then members. None of the above. If we want to remove a judge of a Supreme Court, then the motion must be passed by which of the following majority? So that is the question. I am quite good and I hope all of you are good also. B option. So I think you all have been revising. Yes. There is one question from Amit. What about your weekly current affair classes on Saturday? UPSC Foundation batch. Amit, I will update you about that tomorrow. I will update about that tomorrow. Okay. So here we have, of course, the correct answer here is a majority of total membership and at least 2/3 of members present and voting. So that second option is correct here. B option is correct here. So first one is correct. Second question. Thermal power plants are one of the major contributors to acid rain. Thermal power plants release huge amount of sulfur oxides. both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, but statement 2 doesn't explain statement 1. Statement 1 is correct, 2 is incorrect, 1 is incorrect, 2 is correct. So let me give you a timer. Last day I have got this one idea that there can be timers also. Okay. So your time starts like 10 seconds. Okay, A option from majority of you. Okay, so if you look at this, the first one is saying thermal power plants are one of the major contributors to acid rain. So that one is correct also. Okay. Why? Because they are releasing sulfur oxides, and they are responsible for acid rain. So hence, what we can see that thermal power plants are one of the major contributors to acid rain. So this first option is correct here. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1. Now, coming to the next part. Nanotechnology in present times can be used for which of the following purposes? First is preventing blood clotting, disease diagnosis, new drug development, enhancement of crop productivity. How many of the above are correct? Nanotechnology in the present times can be used for what purpose? Preventing blood clotting, disease diagnosis, new drug development, and enhancement of crop productivity. How many of the above are correct? Question number 3. Yes, Amarjit, I am joining. So yes, here again, I think all of you have given that correct answer, that nanotechnology can be used for all these options. It can be used for preventing blood clotting, disease diagnosis, new drug development, even for crop productivity enhancement. Like we have the nano urea, we have the nano liquid urea. Okay. So this is one of the example of fourth option. Drug development can also be there, plus disease diagnosis, preventing blood clotting. They all are options of nanotechnology. Okay. So here the answer is again option number D. One more question for you. Okay. One more question. Consider the following statements. Some bacteria can survive in hot springs. Some bacteria can survive under polar ice. Some bacteria can survive in pH below 3. How many of the above are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, and D is none. I am literally telling you, I will be joining, just the position will be different. I will be joining as a faculty member. You can join as a aspirant over there. So of course I will be joining. So C option. Yes, that is correct also. We have seen this type of question was asked already in UPSC prelims, and this year also we have seen that there was a question with respect to viruses. So here again the answer is option number C, all 3. So that is going to be the correct answer over here. Okay. No, even this one is correct. This one is also correct, that some bacteria can survive in pH below 3. We have the E. coli. The E. coli, the bacteria which survives in our body, in our gut. It survives in our stomach where the pH can be like 2 or 1.5. There also it will be there. Okay. Now, let us talk about this census exercise. Okay. Let us talk about this census exercise, that why we have got this census. Okay. Now you know that last census was conducted. This is part of your GS paper 2. GS paper 2. This is part of polity section, or you can talk it about this in governance also. Okay. This is going to be one of the most important topic for mains of 2025. Those who are appearing in mains 2025, for you also, this is going to be one of the very important topic. And those who are appearing in 2026 mains, it can be important for you also. Okay. So it is going to be relevant for this year mains also, next year mains also. So now let us try to understand that what is the significance, why people are demanding this, why there is a demand of having a census in India. Okay. So first thing is that it will lead to social justice and inclusion. It will lead to this social justice and inclusion. That is the first part. When we will conduct this census, it will give us the actual picture of the society. It will give us the actual knowledge of our demography, and accordingly we can have targeted welfare measures. This can help us in getting targeted welfare measures. We can have this targeted welfare measures. We can also, like when we are talking about this, it can help us in identifying the marginalized community. Those marginalized communities which are there, which are outside the scope of development, they can be identified here. So identification, this identification of marginalized community, that is going to be one of the main factor here, that it will help us in social justice and inclusion. That is one of the main part. Second thing is, it will help in like when we are making policy, we are making the policy on the basis of a data which is outdated. We are making the policies on the basis of caste census of 1931. So policy is on the basis of outdated data. So what we see that the second part, policy formulation. Policy formulation. Right now, if we talk about the current situation, we take the caste census of 1931. Now this one is outdated. A lot have changed since 1931. It has been more than 80 years now. It has been more than 80, 90 years now, in fact. So what we see that this is outdated now. We need a latest data. So what will help that? Like when we are having the new census, so it will provide a better policy on basis of updated data. This is one of the major factors, that the policy which we are having right now, it is on the basis of outdated data. Now think about this, if we are making policies with respect to education, reservation, health and all other things on basis of this 1931 data, that is quite outdated. Okay. So this is going to be one of the challenging aspects. The third thing which we can have is transparency in reservation. Now, very often there is a demand. People think that they are underrepresented. They are not given that much of scope in the governance, in the education. They are not well represented in politics. They are not well represented in administration, in healthcare, in education, in social schemes, in politics. So what we will see that with this caste census, there will be more transparency. there will be more transparency in reservation. We can get the idea that which communities have got the benefit of reservation and which communities are still on that edge. Which one has got the benefit of reservation and which is still deprived one. Okay. So evaluation, even you will find that there will be a evaluation of reservation policy. This will also help us in getting a evaluation of reservation policy, that has it been successful or not, has it been able to provide that equitable representation or not. Okay. So another benefit which we can see here is equitable political representation. So that is also one of the benefit, equitable political representation. The first thing is like many a times the leaders are talking about this, that we should have reservation in education, we should have reservation in job. But when it comes to politics, many of the leaders are not very much enthusiastic. They are not very much ready for reservation in their seats. So now what we will see, that when we are having a caste census, there will be a better transparency in this terms also. We will get to know that which communities they have got the benefit there and which is not getting the benefit. That is also going to be one of the part. And then it is also a tool for research and analysis of our policies. Okay. This is also good for academic research. Of policies, factors impacting society. So this one part is also there. That it can help us in analyzing that part also. Now, tell me one thing. What can be the possible challenges due to this caste census? So this is your duty. Tell me about the challenges. What challenges may be there due to caste census? Can you tell me what challenges may exist due to caste census? What challenges which we may face if we are going for caste census? What challenges can be there? Anyone? Better policy making welfare, correct. We will have reservation for marginalized section of society, that is also correct. Now tell me about this part. Yes, there is one from Pragya, that it can lead to division in society. Fine. High cost. Yes. The mechanism of this caste itself is going to be quite complicated. So first thing is quite complicated task. Just to give you one perspective, there is not one caste or 10 caste or 12 caste or 20 or 100 castes in India. There are so many castes in India that some small computers may not be able to process that. We have lakhs of different division and subdivision within the castes in our society. Okay. If you have gone to villages, you may have seen that if you belong to a particular caste, then within that caste also there are so many subdivisions. Within that caste. So you may not be aware about it. You may be knowing the main part of the caste, but there are many subdivisions within the caste. So it's not one type of caste. Okay. So this is going to be one of the most complicated tasks That is one thing. Second, social division. Social division may arise in society. Okay. Social division may arise in a society. Yes. Political misuse. Political misuse is another part. Political misuse. At the same time, may undermine the unity and harmony among citizens. We are already seeing that due to religion, due to region, due to language, there are so many challenges in our society, and caste census may have that potential to further aggravate that situation. Okay. So what we will see that there can be a future, yes, vote bank politics on the basis of is misuse of the data. So all these things may become one of the upcoming challenges for Indian society. The Indian society which accepts constitution, the constitution which says for equality, which talks about brotherhood among the people, that may be undermined because of this caste census. Okay. But again, we are having this caste census now, so we will have to wait for the result. Okay. So this is one thing. Yes, fight for reservation. The fight for reservation may get further aggravated. So that is also one of the challenge. The fight for this reservation, that may also get aggravated. Okay. So these are the challenges which we may see due to upcoming caste census. But then again, government has decided that we are going for caste census. So let it be. Let's see what good we can get it from there. So let's stay optimistic about it, that it may solve the issues of the country. Okay. So this is the first topic, caste census of India, significance and challenges. Now, the next part, mental health issues in India. Okay. So this is one of the most important thing right now. And I think those who are preparing for UPSC, you may be having various battles with you during this entire preparation. You may be having a lot of battles which you are handling on daily basis because of the preparation. It is not just a preparation of the GS paper, it is also a preparation of your personality. It is also your emotional test. It is a test of your emotional well-being, your mental health, the stress and all. Okay, so these all things are there for even the UPSC aspirants, and not only for UPSC aspirants, for in fact the entire society. The mental health issue is one of the most challenging one. And what is more challenging, that people are not ready to talk about it. While people are suffering from mental issues, mental health issues, people are not ready to talk about it. If someone is going to a psychologist, if someone is taking some counseling, then people have a different perception. If anyone is going to any psychologist, people simply think that they are not of sound mind, they may have gone crazy. So this is the perception with respect to mental health in India. Okay. So when we talk about mental well-being, what are the components of it? The components include the mood and outlook of the person, that how happy a person is or how a person becomes irritated from time to time. The second part is social self, how a person is connecting to the society, how a person is connecting to the society, how that person is able to connect with the other members of society, that is one of the key aspects of it. Third part is adaptability and resilience. This is a normal human life. It is not like the Bollywood stories where there is always good, where there is always fun. It is the normal human life, and it will be full of up and down, and those up and down will not change just by one song. In Bollywood movies, you may have seen that first there is a problem for the actor or actress, then there is a motivational song, there is work out of 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden each and everything changes. Then suddenly within 5 to 10 minutes a person becomes quite famous from a struggler's life. So people may get this wrong impression from the movies that within 5 to 10 minutes your life may change. But in actual, this takes a much more longer period of time. This may take months, this may take years, this may even take lifetime for some people. So what we see that there must be that habit of adaptability and resilience. Adaptability with changing condition, resilience against the shocks, resilience against the setback. Okay. So if there is any setback, if there is any shock, so there must be a resilience, there must be a adaptability in the person according to that. Okay. There must also be a drive and motivation, a motivation to achieve something, a motivation, a inner dedication to achieve something, to have a purpose in life. To have a purpose in life, that is important component of the mental well-being. Then we have this cognition ability also. The cognition ability is also part of it. To think about something, to analyze something, to perceive something, that is part of the cognitive abilities. And there must be a mind and body connection. Many a times when we are stressed, we gain extra weight. Some people lose extra weight. You may start losing hair. Your hair may become gray. You may not feel very much energetic. You may feel like energyless. You may feel fatigueness. So these all things, there is always a mind-body connection. So mental well-being is very much important as much as our physical well-being. These are all components of mental well-being. Now, when we talk about World Health Organization, okay, yes, so what we see that according to World Health Organization, mental health is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope up with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well and work well, and contribute to their community. Okay. So there will be a stress. Mental well-being doesn't mean that a person who is quite much mentally good will not have any stress in life. There is always going to be some stress. There is always going to be some challenge. But mental well-being entails this, mental well-being incorporates this, that the person will be able to cope up, to manage that stress. Stress can be related to work, stress can be related to career, to money, to family members, to friends, anything. Okay. So what we see that to cope up with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well, work well, and contribute to their community. That is mental health as per WHO. Okay. But see, there are certain facts and figures which we have to see here. Very like you can see this, it is one of the most depressing figure right now when we talk about India. Okay. Just see this part. The burden of mental health problem in India is 2443 disability adjusted life years per 10,000 population. Okay. Means people are losing that much of life. If you are taking an average of 10,000 people, 10,000 people on an average are losing this much year of life due to mental health. Okay. So roughly around you can see roughly around it is 24 years per person. Then what we see that the age adjusted suicide rate per 1 lakh population is 21.1. Means what we see that around out of 1 lakh people, 21 people in India are committing suicide. What we also see that the economic loss due to mental health in 2012 to 2030 is going to be $1.03 trillion. So mental health is not going to cost only the life, it is also going to cost our economy as well. Okay. So mental health or mental well-being is important for the person also, for the community also, for the nation also. Now what you will find, these are some more data as per that PIB. Okay. The National Mental Health Survey 2015-16, it found that 10.6% of adults in India suffer from mental disorder. Out of 10%, every 1% is suffering from some mental issue. And this was one of the survey conducted 10 years back in 2015-16. From that time to the present time, the mental health issues have grown at a much more alarming rate. Second thing, what we see that the lifetime prevalence of mental disorder in India is 13.7%. Okay. Around 15% of India's adult population experiences mental health issues requiring intervention. So 15% of the adult population needs help, needs medical help. What we also see that urban areas have a higher prevalence compared to rural areas. So those who are living in urban areas, those who are having all sort of facilities, those who are having all the fast life and everything, those who are having all the amenities, they are suffering more from mental health as compared to the rural areas. So what we see that the materialistic things are not a guarantee of mental peace. In urban areas, people are having hospitals, people are having access to public transport, entertainment sources, many people surrounding them. So while they are surrounded by huge population, they are often living alone there. So this is one of the challenge in India. There are some more updates about this. 70 to 92% of people with mental disorder do not receive proper treatment. Why? Because of lack of awareness, stigma around this, and shortage of professionals. There is lack of psychologists, there is lack of this awareness among people, and plus the mental health stigma. Okay. If in the present times also, if people are talking about mental health issue at their home, if people are talking about this, that if they are having any such mental health issue, they will get scolded by their parents. Their parents will simply say that तुम्हारा पढ़ाई लिखाई में मन नहीं लगता, अभी से तुम्हें टेंशन हो रहा है, किस बात की टेंशन है तुम्हें? Okay. So this is one of the challenge which we see here. According to the Indian Journal of Psychiatry, India has 0.75 psychiatrists per 1 lakh people. Means for 1 lakh people, we are not having even one psychiatrist. WHO recommends that there should be 3 psychiatrists per 1 lakh population. We are not having even one. So that is one of the challenge. We are having 0.75. It means 25% psychiatrist then what should be actually there? Okay. There is a lack of 75%. Lack of 75%. So this is one part. Okay. So you are very happy person. Yes. So you should be happy. So see, in fact, WHO has called India, and this is according to newspaper reports. This is not as per me. WHO has said that India is the most depressing country in terms of mental health. That in case of India, the cases of depression are like at an alarming rate, and the major challenges, people are not even talking about it. BS Chauhan, sir, if we purchase Adhyan batch, is it still needed to do daily current affairs? Just see the orientation class today, BS Chauhan. Today we have done this orientation class. There I have explained you the benefit of these classes. Okay. In our YouTube sessions, we are doing regular practice of some questions. Plus, you will get repetition of certain topics. So yes, you will get the help. Okay. So this is first part, that what is the challenge? These are the topics with respect to this. Now, what steps has been taken by government? Okay. What steps has been taken by government? First thing is, in 2007, 1982, if we talk about 1982, government has started National Mental Health Program. Okay. So at that time, mental health was integrated in primary health care. Then later on, in 1996, what we will see that district mental health program was introduced to expand this mental health program outreach. So 1992, 82, then 1996. Then again 2015, 16. What we see that there was one survey, National Mental Health Survey. Okay. So first time survey was conducted in India in 2015, 16 to see if people are having any mental health issue in India or not. And after that survey in 2017, okay, what we see that suicide was decriminalized. Earlier, what was the provision? That if some person is trying to commit suicide, now if that person is able to do that, of course, he will lose his life, and then again family and all other people, they will also be facing the trauma. Okay. But if the person survives in that attempt, if a person is trying to commit suicide, and while committing suicide, if he survives, then he might have to go jail. He or she might have to go to jail, because before 2017, suicide was a criminal offense. So what we see that later on in 2017, it was identified as a problem, not as a crime. So then 2017, we have this Mental Health Care Act. Okay. Then what we see that in 2017 itself, we have got this National Health Policy, and it recognized mental health as a priority. So first time in National Health Policy, mental health was also included. Then again, 2018, there was this Right of Person with Disabilities Act. Okay. So it was even providing all the rights to persons with mental challenges, mental issues or mental illnesses. Then 2020, there was this Kiran Helpline. Kiran Helpline. Kiran Helpline. So it was provided to give this mental health support during COVID-19. You may have seen that during COVID-19, the people were supposed to stay indoor. They were supposed to live in their homes. Now, many of the people were suffering so much trauma. They were losing their close ones. Many people have lost life. Many people have lost their family members. Many people have lost their job, livelihood option. They were confined within the homes, nothing to do. So in that situation, we have got this Kiran helpline, which was supposed to provide mental health support during COVID-19. Okay. Then after, we have got this Telemanas. Telemanas. It was launched in 2022, and this provide 24/7 telemental health. Telemental health support. So Telemanas was launched to provide 24/7 mental health support to individuals. So that is one of the initiative which was launched recently. Okay. And Kiran and Telemanas, they were launched, they were merged together. In 2022 itself, we have this National Suicide Prevention Strategy. We have got this National Suicide Prevention Strategy also, which aims to reduce suicide rate or suicide mortality by 10% by 2030. Okay. So suicide mortality was supposed to be reduced reduction by 10% by 2030. So that was the aim here. Telemanas was expanded with more centers and video consultation was also introduced. Telemanas app has also been launched, and Ayushman Bharat is also providing mental health support. Okay. So Telemanas and Kiran were some of the major initiatives. Then National Mental Health Care Act of 2017, that was one such major program. In National Health Policy also, mental health was recognized as one of the primary areas. Overall, we can see that in the last one decade, government has taken many such initiatives to talk about mental health in India. I hope this part is clear. Yes. कितना बड़ा टॉपिक है. If we do daily classes of current affairs and these papers, see, BS Chauhan, just do one thing: 1 hour of classes daily day plus Adyan batch. That's sufficient. Okay, 1 hour of class per day plus Adyan batch. I hope that solves your problem. Which paper? See, in Hindu newspaper, there was one article about mental health, but we don't simply take the news from newspaper only. We take the backward forward linkage also. Yes, I know many of you who are there in the preparation, many of you may have faced this issue. What I can suggest you, there are two things which you can do. Whenever you are having any such challenge, you may have some person in your friend circle or in your family whom you can talk to about this. That is one thing. Second thing is, sometimes you are not that much like social, or sometimes you are not, you may not like to share it with someone, or you may have this feeling that if I'm sharing with someone, people may judge me. Of course, Indian peoples have a habit of judging people. So people may judge you. That may be one of the challenges. In that situation, what you can do is, you can write your thoughts. If you start writing your thoughts, solution will come from there. If you are having some stress, try to write it down. If you write it down, then you will find that it is not so much of so big issue. If you write it down, you may be able to like concentrate your thoughts about it. So writing about your thoughts, writing about your emotions is one of the options. And still, if you are not able to manage, then you should consult. Government has also come up with the helpline. There are so many other sources also which are providing the help. So there is no shame. There is no such shame in consulting anyone with respect to this. And remember one thing, it is not something which can be done only by tablets. You have to finally share your thoughts, your emotions with someone. then only you will be able to overcome this problem. Okay. BS Chauhan, you can avoid newspaper. If you are so much dedicated on avoiding newspaper, you can avoid it. Okay. Now, coming to the third topic now. So this is one of the topic, like we are not discussing about this. We are not writing anything about this. I am just giving you a glimpse of this. This is not just today's news article. This is a lot which is going on. We will just try to grasp it. In some other class, we will discuss about in detail. But just to give you a hint from here, you may have seen that we are having this G7 summit. Okay. Initially, the news was this, that Canada may not be inviting India for G7 summit. Initially, it was this there in the news that Canada may not be inviting India for the G7 summit. But later on, Canada has invited India. What we see that Canada has invited India, India has also decided to participate. But this shows one thing, that among the global powers, India is not having good ties with at least some of them. While we are having relations in terms of defense deal, while we are having relations with many of them in terms of trade, but when it comes about terrorism, when it comes about other issues, then many of the world leaders are not with India. That is one of the challenge which we may see from here. First thing is what we see, Canada-India relation. That is one of the major challenge. Okay. We have already seen India-US relation. Now, this is not India's fault. This is not India's fault, India-US relation. You know that US is not having a good president for a very long period of time. US is not sure about what it is trying to do. So for US, you can say that it is not India's fault. They have got a president like Donald Trump. So even they don't know what Donald Trump may do the next day. So that is not India's fault. India's relation with that of UK. We are so much happy with the trade deal. But when we talk about geopolitics, when we talk about other issues, UK is not that much good a friend to India. Okay. It is trying to again balance between Pakistan and India. Okay. What we say that, like within Canada, the perception for India is not so good. The perception for India is not so good within Canada politics. Okay. And in fact, what we see that in Canada, the Khalistani supporters are getting support from many sections of Canada. So that is also one of the challenge for us. What we also see, like David Lammy, he is the secretary, he is the foreign secretary of United Kingdom. Now, before coming to India, he has visited Pakistan. And in fact, he is again speaking the same language, that we are trying to balance the situation. We are trying to neutralize the situation between India and Pakistan. Between India and Pakistan, the situation is not for neutralization. The situation is for holding Pakistan accountable for terrorism. So what we see that this is one of our diplomatic challenge. We have not been able to convince the world that Pakistan is supporting terrorism, or the world is playing its card there. The world leaders are playing its card over there, that they are trying to balance. They are trying to balance India and Pakistan. Okay. While on one hand they need India because India is the 5th largest economy, but on the other hand they also don't want India to become a very much superpower or to become influential. So they are trying to keep a check and balance on India also, whether it is UK, whether it is US, whether it is other countries of the world. So there we have to look at this from our diplomatic perspective, that how much we have been able to build. Okay. So that is one thing. What we have seen, that amidst all these things, there are certain countries of the world who are still by our side. And these countries are not major superpowers of the world, but they are very important countries. And in fact, they are the Central Asian countries. We may not have very much good relations with them. We are mostly talking about trade with them. But the Central Asian countries, they have been in support of India. The South American countries, many of them have been in support of India. African countries have been in support of India. So this is one of the challenge, that we have been focusing on some of the major global powers, whereas the global South or the smaller countries which are there, they may be one of those countries where we need to invest more, where we need to have more and more engagement. Okay, so that is one thing. Then what we see, that BRICS platform, this is one such ray of hope for India. This is one of the ray of hope for India. BRICS, which includes even China, has given this a statement. Okay, so there is a unanimous support to fight against terrorism. Okay. So that is one part. The regional groups are one of the major supporters for India. You may have seen that there is an anti-terror group which has been formed at the global level, and Pakistan is heading it. Now think about the global leaders right now. They have given the task of controlling terrorism to the terrorists. Okay. So that is one of the challenge. Then again, what we see, that India is again visiting France, Belgium and other countries of Europe. We are trying to cultivate Europe. We are trying to make our relations good with Europe. So we certainly need much more aggressive policy, much more like a solid support from all the sections of the world. This Pahalgam attack and the Operation Sindoor is a reminder. It is a reminder for us that how much aggressively we need to work for our diplomacy. Only giving just these interviews in European media and having those laser lights in those goggles may not help. Okay. We have been highlighting, we have been seeing those reels and those YouTube videos that Indian diplomacy is very strong, very powerful. But Operation Sindoor was a very much reminder of this failure of our policies. When we have been having all those laser lights in our diplomats, in our external affairs minister and all of those things, in making reels and all. But what we see, that when actually it was needed, then we were on the back foot. Okay. So this is one of the challenge for our diplomacy. Okay. So I hope this one topic is also clear. Like, we are not talking about this in detail. We are just seeing a glimpse of it. Now, one more thing here. We have one small news article from here, Nomadic elephant. Okay. So this is one such exercise between India and Mongolia. Okay. In fact, it is the 17th edition. Okay. India and Mongolia is there. What we see, that this is being conducted. It is being conducted at Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia. So this is one part. This is a small news article. Generally, they ask about the names, that which exercise is conducted between which countries. So we have this nomadic elephant between India and Mongolia. So we are covering these things also now. Okay. We are covering these things also now because you know that UPSC is asking about the sports also. They're asking about who won in IPL match. Maybe they will ask this time. So you all know who won the title this time. This was also after 18 years that a team has won the IPL. Okay. So maybe they can ask about this. Yes, this is the 17th edition. It started in 2004. Last year, what we see that it was conducted in Meghalaya. 16th edition conducted in Meghalaya. So this is one such a small news article which was there. Okay. Now, one more important article is about climate intervention method. So here you can see this is climate intervention method. Now, the question is, what is the purpose? The purpose is simply to reduce global warming. We are having various climate intervention models. So there are multiple options. And what is the main purpose? To reduce the global warming. So what is the mode or how it is going to be done? So first one, surface albedo enhancement. Surface albedo enhancement means we can enhance the albedo. Albedo means reflection of the solar radiation. When it falls upon a surface, when it gets reflected back directly, it doesn't contribute to global warming. When it is absorbed by the surface, then only it may be radiated and then it will cause global warming. But when it gets reflected back directly, then there is lesser chances of global warming. So how we can have this? First thing is how we are going to do this. So we are going to have this by white painting of roof. On the roof surface, if you are having white painting, then it is going to enhance the albedo. Second part is reflective crops. Some of the green plants, many of the green plants or the green leaves, they are also able to reflect most of the light. Okay. So in that case, there is going to be lesser albedo. So by having vegetation cover, or by having this white painting on the wall, on the roof, we can have more and more albedo, less and less heating. So that is one of the option, surface albedo enhancement. That is one option. What is the second option? The second option you can see, increase the reflectability of marine cloud. Okay. Enhancing or increasing the reflectivity of marine clouds. Marine clouds. Now the question is how we will do that, how we are going to do this. So here again we have this option, spraying fine sea salt particles into marine clouds. Okay. So spray of sea salt if cloud becomes much more dense, they are able to reflect more and more amount of light. Okay. So when we are having this spray of the sea salt particles on the marine clouds, that will also enhance the reflectability. The third option is increasing the amount of stratospheric aerosol. The third option is stratospheric aerosol enhancement. Okay. We can also include aerosol means the one which is present in the air, the solution or the you may have read this in chemistry class 9th or 10th. Aerosol means the dust particles which are part of air, they are simply called as aerosol. Okay. So we can have certain things like sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide is reflecting the particles. Okay. So what we see that a spray of sulfur dioxide in a stratosphere. So that is also one part, that stratospheric aerosol can again help in enhancing the albedo, and that can also reduce the amount of sunlight coming on the surface of earth and getting absorbed. So that is on the level of stratosphere. The next part is we can also have the fourth part, the space based methods. Okay. So a space based method, that is the fifth option. Like we can have large mirrors or reflectors in the space. Okay. So we can have large mirrors or reflectors in space. Large mirrors or reflectors in space. So they can also like reduce the amount of sunlight, but you know that this is like very much costly, like putting a mirror over the surface of earth. Think about this, what will be the size of it? Like placing a mirror which can reflect most of the sunlight coming to the surface of earth. This is more of a hypothetical thing, that we will cover the entire earth with something. So this you can see in Hollywood movies only right now. We can see that in Hollywood movies, they have created many such mirrors and other things surrounding the earth. So this is generally there in the Hollywood movies, or of course, if nothing works there, then of course you have the South Indian movies. They can send back the sun to other galaxy. If nothing works, we have the fifth option. We can have South Indian movies. They can send the sunlight back to the sun. They can collect all the sunlight and then Rajnikant can send it over. Okay. So that is the fifth option. So there we have the fifth option also here. Okay. We have this like cirrus cloud. If cirrus cloud becomes thin, the cirrus cloud are responsible for trapping the long wave radiation. So by thinning them, we can again reduce the amount of long wave absorption. Okay. So we have the next option, cirrus cloud thinning. So what is the role of cirrus cloud? They absorb outgoing radiation. So thin cloud, less absorption. So this is one of the main part, that through 5 methods we may think of reducing the global warming. One is painting the surfaces with white color, having more green cover. That is part 1, most effective. Second part is marine cloud. Marine cloud can be sprayed with sea salt particles. That can also increase the albedo, that can enhance the reflection of sunlight. Second part. Third part is sulfur dioxide injection in the stratosphere. That can also reduce the amount of sunlight coming to the surface. So these 3 things are possible. Fourth option, putting a mirror on the atmosphere of Earth. So that is something more unlikely. Fifth option is cirrus cloud thinning. Cirrus cloud, it absorbs most of the outgoing solar radiation. So if we are making it thinner, then what we will see, that there will be less absorption of the outgoing radiation, lesser global warming, and better planet. Okay. So these are the options which are available to us right now. Okay. But it does not reduce greenhouse gas. Sulfur dioxide is not a major problem for global warming. For global warming, the problem is carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, halogens. Sulfur dioxide is a problem for acid rain. Okay. Then what we see, that when we are talking about sulfur dioxide, if it is there in the stratosphere, not in the troposphere, in the stratosphere, it can cause this, like what we will see, that in the stratosphere, it can reflect the incoming solar radiation. Okay. Guardian of the Galaxies, yes, in the movies it can be done quite easily. In reality, it may take some time. We may not be able to see that. Okay, but in movies, especially if we are talking about Hollywood, and if not Hollywood, then the South Indian movie, they can do anything for this. Okay. In Bollywood, you cannot expect. Bollywood is still occupied with the same concept, that there is a poor person, there is a rich person, then there is a love story, then there is a criminal, they fight over with each other, and then they go. Happy ending. Or they have other sort of story. Nowadays, they have a rowdy police wala, a rowdy policeman. Like only in India, you can like glamorize this, that a police person is becoming rowdy and then he is liked by people. Police persons are not supposed to be rowdy. They are supposed to be helpful to people. But in India, of course, we celebrate that. That's why movies like Singham or Dabang, they are very much famous. They are very much popular. So that is one thing. So Bollywood is still the same story. Either a rowdy police wala or a Robin Hood type person, or if nothing, then again the same old love story. Okay, that goes on in Bollywood. Okay. In South Indian movie, they bring new concepts. They defy gravity. Okay, they have so many things which are beyond imagination of physics, chemistry, biology combined together. Okay, so that is one thing. So, and if nothing works, then they have this katta and all those things which you can use to cut the nariyal pani also. Okay. So these are the stories of our movies. Okay. In Hollywood, they imagine about this, that okay, what are the rules, what can we do in future. Like just to give an example, there was a movie called as Armageddon. Armageddon movie was there in 1999 or 98 perhaps. So that movie was talking about the concept that in future, if an asteroid is coming towards the Earth, how we would be able to deflect that from reaching to the surface of Earth. So there was a movie on that, Armageddon. Okay, so that movie was way back in 1998-99, and what we see, that around 20-22 years later, we have an actual mission of NASA on that DART mission, which was for deflecting an asteroid. Okay. So still Hollywood is imagining about these things, but you know how we make the movies. Okay. Waita. Okay. So that will be all for today. These were the topics which we have discussed. First, we have discussed about this caste census, that what is the significance for it. Second topic which we have discussed is about the mental health issues in India, the facts and figures about it, and the government steps about it. The third one, we have talked about this Indian diplomatic issues and the pushes for it, plus nomadic elephant and climate intervention method. This one topic, the last one, climate intervention method, this is going to be crucial one for prelims. Okay. In prelims, you can get a question around this. Okay. So that will be all for today. Let's meet in the next session then, and then we will talk about remaining things. Thank you, everyone. Any question, any doubt now? Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Jai Hind. Thank you.